Alright, today we're gonna tie a Gunslinger. This is a fly actually that I'd been given, so I'd been sitting in my fly box, but it was just part of a whole bunch of flies that I'd been given, and I had no idea really what it was called. But it's a fly that it looks real buggy. I mean, I think the ones that I had rubber legs, but with flash legs, pheasant tail. It's got a bunch of buggy materials in it. So we're just starting out here. The ones I've seen, they're all tied on kind of a curved hook. Here I had the Firehole Sticks jigged curve hook. I believe it's a 520. I really like this hook. It seems like it runs at least a size big. So this is a size 18 with a 2.3 millimeter bead. I'd say it ties up, it's closer to a standard size 16 fly. It's just good to keep in your mind. If you're trying to tie a small fly, you might want a size 20 or 22 to match that size 18 if you're tying like zebra midges or things like that. But here we're going to start off a few pheasant tail fibers for the tail. Get them tied in there, pull them back to length. We don't want some hugely long tail back there. Let's try to get back to the tie-in point. That looks pretty good. Wrap forward. Tie in our rib. Which is just going to be some small copper wire. Back up so we can get the body. Body's going to be back with some pheasant tail. Really, 3 or 4 fibers will get you a body, and keep it thin. If you get a whole bunch of fibers, it seems like the body builds up on you. I like to trim off just the tips, so I'm gonna tie-in that is a little bit stronger, but don't cut off too much, because then you'll end up with where the body starts off a little bit thicker. Okay, I like to get a hold of some hackle pliers, grip that pheasant tail out towards the end. For me, it just helps me keep a lighter tension on that pheasant tail, you don't want to pull too hard. And this way I can take my time a little bit and just with light tension get those fibers to lay down next to each other instead of on top of each other, which I think helps keep the pheasant tail thin. Get up here where the thorax is going to be. Go ahead and tie it off. You don't need to go too far up because you're going to have quite a bit to tie in with the wing case. Go ahead and take the camera, put out your wing case and all of that. So now we want to counter wrap with that copper wire. I go back and forth if I like a brassy sized or a small size. It seems like if you use a smaller size, it looks better with a few more wraps, which should help with that durability. But you can use whichever you like, a small size or a brassy size. Just helicopter it off eventually. There we go. Lay down a little bit of a thread base so you can tie in your thin skin wing. This is an interesting thin skin. It's clear with kind of black modeling on it. Again, I would say kind of, whatever width you like. This is maybe slightly wider than I like. So I don't like having a huge thorax, but it's also not horrible, so go ahead and go with that. So get that tied in, and then you can tie in some Krystal flash for legs. Just get a little bit on each side here. Forward, so you got them coming out a little bit from each other in kind of an X pattern. So now with all that tying, you're getting a bit of a ball of thread and stuff up there, so we really don't need a super thick thorax here. So here I'm using an SLF Spiky Squirrel. I think this stuff really, you can put some tension on it when you're dubbing your thread, and it really gets you a small tight dubbing noodle. Here. Maybe even a little more than I would typically. got those so that I can get this wing case up here. Thread wraps up top, couple underneath to get this thing locked in, and then just carefully trim that out as close as you can. With flies like this, and most flies, just a small area of super glue. Enough to get a wrap or two on there really helps make sure things stay where they're supposed to. So there I had one wrap. I have maybe enough on for another. I'll do that with the whip finish. I can just do a 3-turn whip finish. Out. How much bugginess you want out of those fibers. You can have more or less. You can brush it out a little bit if you want. And I like to just kind of pull these up, knock them all off. Somewhere like that, and then fine tune those legs. A little, and there you have it, the Gunslinger. Tie a bunch up for your fly boxes, and don't forget to like and subscribe.